So here it is, finally part 3 to my new broadband series, and after many months of waiting, I now have full fibre broadband connected to my property, and what an absolute mental journey it's been, so stick around to find out exactly what happened. Right, welcome back everybody, and apologies, this is going to be a long one. Wasn't even sure if I was actually going to do it, but to be honest, the amount of questions I was getting from people in the first two videos that I've done on this, I thought I should really do a third one and close it out. So basically going to take you through everything that's happened, the kind of poor services that I've had from certain companies, and probably a lot of impatience for myself as well. I must put that in that I'm quite an impatient guy, but I think when you see why I kind of lost the rag with some of the things, I don't think you can really blame me. So I kind of wrote things down as well just to kind of keep a track of everything. So where to begin? Months and months ago we got letters and stuff through the door just saying that they're going to be completing the routing of the cables for full fibre broadband to the properties, to keep an eye on further letters and so on for when it's available. Sure enough, at the start of the year we start getting letters through from City Fibre and so on, and other companies basically saying that it's now available for picking one of them to get your broadband through. So I was delighted that I had this chance. I've never had this opportunity because of where I stay, to have full fibre broadband. It's always been the old telephone wire, and I've never had anything quicker than, I think 100 meg or something was about the quickest I've had, and that was only because I was close to a telephone exchange. But anyway, I need to stop waffling on. So yeah, and again, a bit of a background. I've been a Sky customer for well over 20 years, and I'm just a wee bit kind of fed up with, I don't know, I just feel as if you could get better service out of them. For such a long customer of theirs, I just don't think it's good value for money. And there's a twist in this tale which you'll soon find out. So anyway, letters come through, done a bit of looking about, bit of shopping, bit of browsing to see who I wanted to go with, and the one that stuck out was Vodafone for a couple of reasons. Price, they were very competitive. They were all roughly about the same price, but Vodafone was very competitive. But the main thing was the equipment they were offering and the actual speeds they were offering. The download and upload speed, I think, were quoted around about 910 megs a second. That is for both download and upload. Upload's very rare, getting that same kind of similar speed. You tend to find that upload speed's like a fraction of what the download speed is. So right away I was like, you might as well go for that if it's the only company that's offering it. Will I use it? Probably not very often. I think, in fact, the only time I'm really going to upload stuff is when I do these YouTube videos. But yeah, back onto the equipment. The Vodafone equipment just looked excellent. Just looked nice, kind of modernistic router that you got with it. You also got a booster as well, which is ideal for the kind of property I have. I've got a townhouse that's over 3 levels, and it also gave you a 5G backup, a little bit of equipment, so for any reason the network goes down, it then kicks into the 5G network, which is ideal for me because I work from home quite a lot. I'm doing a lot of kind of 3D modelling stuff, and if you happen to lose your connection, you can actually lose all the work you've done. So to me that was quite a good thing to have, and it also gave you a digital phone line as well, so it ticked all the boxes. So I placed the order with Vodafone back in the 25th of February. A couple of days later we had the City Fibre guys came out to do a little survey, and they were asking the question of where does the telephone line come in. I think they were expecting to see that the house is already wired up, and I said to them, no, none of the properties have been wired up. As far as I'm aware, all the cabling is still in the street. And the guy says that's fine, okay, we'll go away and we'll do a bit of digging. Not a bit of digging, but we'll do a wee bit of investigating, and we'll come back to you. So that was that. Never heard a thing after that. The activation date was set for the 11th of March, and then out of the blue, what happened was, again, activation date was 11th of March. I heard nothing. It just went quiet. And I just, because it was the first time me ordering something like that, I just thought I'll give it a bit of time, just let the guys have a wee bit more time. And then on the 19th of March, out of the blue, I got a cancellation from City Fibre saying that the engineer's just not going to visit, followed up by a cancellation email and text message from Vodafone as well, saying that the order had been totally cancelled. Now I phoned up Vodafone trying to get a reason why. They went away, spoke to people in City Fibre, and then they came back to me and says it was due to a blockage, and that's all they could tell me. I was like, what do you mean a blockage? Is there something like down in the, like their tunnels or their cable passages, whatever you want to call it, or conduit, whatever you want to call it, it's in the street, is there something wrong there? Well, we don't know. All it is, it's just a blockage, and that's it. They've just cancelled the order. So at that stage I asked, have you any idea when it's going to be fixed? And it basically says, no, we've not got a resolution date, we'll just need to see it out and see what happens. So that right away just didn't sit well with me, began to ring alarm bells with me. I then started kind of googling things online and found a lot of kind of similar situations with people with experience with City Fibre. But I was kind of losing patience, so I just decided I'll try Sky. Sure enough, Sky's Gigafast, I think it's called, was then available to me, and it's strange because I was never ever offered that, considering, like I says, customer of Sky for 20 odd years. I was never ever informed that this Gigafast was available to me, so I ended up I decided to order their Gigafast. Similar kind of download speeds to what Vodafone were offering, but the upload speed was only something like 110 meg, which to me is fine. I'm not going to complain at that. So that was ordered on the 19th of March, the same day that I found out that basically Vodafone and City Fibre had cancelled. I was given an activation date of the 16th of April, which is about, what's that, 19th of March I placed the order, 16th of April activation date, so about 4 weeks later I think it was. So I think it was the day after or 2 days later, I'm in my work, I got a phone call from Openreach. It was an engineer who was doing a survey on the property, asking if he could get access to the property. Asked him to hold on for 15 minutes and I'll drive down and I'll let him come in and see. So again, he was struggling to find where the entry point for the fibre cable was, and I basically says to him that there is no entry point in here, not as far as I'm aware. For the length of time that I've been here, it's just the one telephone connection. It's down at the ground level. So the guy basically took the face off, had a look, and then says to me, oh, it's an armoured cable you've got. He then went on to explain that the armoured cable was basically just cable that was just dug into the ground, no conduit, no trunking or anything like that, just stuck into the ground, soil put back on top of it, and they'd basically plonked houses right on top of the things. He did say to me that he'll go away and check, he'll get blueprints for the neighbourhood, the estate, to see if there's anything else that we're just not aware of, something that's not visible. And later that day, to be fair to the guy, he phoned me back and says that, yeah, there is no conduit leading to the houses. It's just, there's basically just one cable trunking, if you want to call it that runs up the pavement in the street, but then nothing leads off to the individual houses. So that was kind of disappointing to hear, but he did say to me, don't worry about it, we'll get the civils guys on case, and we'll get the cable installed for you properly. I must say, Openreach were brilliant compared to City Fibre, and they're just silence. Openreach were night and day, kept me informed, they were quick to do things. Civils guys were out a few days later, done the work, lifted all the cobblestones up, laid this conduit with a cable inside it, put the cobblestones down, good as new. And the guy said to me at that stage, you'll now need to get another engineer to come out to fix the little, or basically fit the little grey box to the outside of the property. They just left a big coil of cable ready for the guy to do that, so that was fine. I think the last engineer visit was, so the activation date was 16th of April, and then by the time everything got done, actually, there was a bit of a kind of delay in stuff getting done. I think that last engineer I was talking about didn't come until the 19th of April. So the activation date was set for the 16th, and this guy never came to the 19th and finished it. What Sky had done in that meantime is they'd actually pushed back the activation date for about 6 weeks or something. It was literally the end of May they put back the activation date. So when the engineer came in the 19th to finish off the little bit of work at the front of the house, he said to me, that's all done from our side of things, it will be on the system tomorrow that their side of the work is complete, and there is no excuse whatsoever for Sky to send an engineer out within a couple of days, whatever, to get it all finalised. I was like, fantastic. So I ended up phoned up Sky, explained the situation, that all the work outside the house was now done. Is there any chance you could change the activation date? And they just outright refused. They just would not budge, saying that is the earliest date they've got in the system, can't push it forward anymore. I kind of argued with them, saying, do you think that's feasible? You initially gave me an activation date the 16th of April, already had to wait about 4 weeks for that, and now you've pushed it back another 6 weeks, so like roughly 10 weeks in total you're expecting me to wait. Just didn't budge on it. Should also point out that the price of this Sky deal that I was getting was roughly about the same price as Openreach, as the Vodafone deal, and I'll get to that in a minute why I've brought that up. So yeah, me being impatient, I didn't think that was acceptable, and I just cancelled. So told them right away, just nah, stick it, not interested, don't want your gigafast anymore, and that was that. So I thought I was being a little bit cocky, and because Openreach had basically come out and done all the work to fit the conduit and stuff like that and have the cable routed up to the house, I thought there is absolutely no reason whatsoever now for Vodafone to not be installed, considering the cable and everything's in place. So I phoned up Vodafone, ordered the exact same stuff, the exact same package, and that annoyed me because I'd already sent all the equipment back, so they now sent out the same stuff again to me again. Looking forward to using all this equipment. I was given, that was ordered on the 19th of April. I got a card a couple of days later through the door from the City Fibre engineers saying that they've been out, looked at the property, all's good, and we'll see you on the actual day of the activation when the engineer will come out and do the final bit of work. Activation date comes, which was the 7th of March. Sorry, what is it, 7th of March? I'm talking rubbish. 7th of May, apologies, 7th of May it was, and it's just a no-show. Nobody turns up to the property at all. I gave it until about 7 o'clock at night or something like that, and just gave up. Tried to phone Vodafone, was struggling to get through to speak to somebody, and then I gave it a couple of days, and then I get followed up again by another email and text message from Vodafone and City Fibre saying that the order had been cancelled. Again, no reason at all, nothing to say why it was done. I didn't get a phone call or anything from Vodafone to explain what happened. I was absolutely furious, and to be honest, I shouldn't have even bothered my arse, considering the hassle I had with them the first time around. I should have just got it in my head, right, enough's enough, just don't deal with City Fibre. Can't blame Vodafone because they're forced to use City Fibre, but I don't really think it's Vodafone's fault, but I still think the communication could have been a wee bit better. But I was livid with City Fibre, and that was it. Enough was enough. So then I thought, right, spoke to my wife about it, and she says, let's just stick with Sky. We've been with them for so long, we know what we're getting with them, just go with that, and it's still going to be a better internet than what we've got, so on, blah blah blah. Gets on the phone to Sky on the 13th of May, the same day that Vodafone and City Fibre had cancelled. Says to Sky about taking a gigafast deal out, the same one as I spoke to them about like literally weeks before, and the pricing went up by about 20 odd quid. I could not believe it. I was like, this isn't the price you were quoting me before, you know, it was like £44 or something like that, and it was like closer to like 60 odd, whatever there was they were quoting me for the exact same package, nothing different. And I just, again, because I'm a customer for 20 odd years, I thought they could have done something to help me out, and I just had enough. I was like, just stick up your arse, not interested. And finally, I goes on to EE, just decided to try a different company altogether. I'm a customer of EE with my mobile phone, as is my wife, and I think my son is as well. Never had any issues with EE. Phoned them up, got the exact same kind of price that I was originally offered by Vodafone and Sky. Kind of interested me going with EE because they've got a different hub. Again, that's another thing about Sky. Sky weren't going to give me a new hub, it was still the same old hub I was using as well, which I find strange. fibre optic broadband, and they're still using this same old shitey hub that I've had for years. Anyway, fancied going with EE. They've got the new Smart Hub Plus with Wi-Fi 6 and all that jazz. I decided to go with that, and everything went as smoothly as it could possibly go. A couple of days after I put the order in, BT engineer came out, surveyed the property, could see that the cable was already ran to the house. A couple of days later I got a message basically telling me another date where an engineer will come out to finish the cabling from the little grey box to actually inside the house, install a modem and have the thing up and running. So yeah, that was ordered on the 14th of May, survey was carried out, and then by the time we got our engineer working everything done, it went live there on the 4th of June, and everything has been so far so good. So finally got my broadband, not with Vodafone, not with Sky, not with City Fibre, but with EE and Openreach, and well done to the two companies, because they've been kind of hassle free working with them. Anyway, enough is enough. What I'm going to do is I will show you an unboxing video of the Smart Hub Plus. Not a lot to it, just the connections and stuff on the back of it. I'll show you a little video of outside the property of where the cables were originally ran, and what the actual engineers had to do, the civils guys, to get the cable to the house, and then we'll come and do a bit of testing. Right, there's not going to be much to this unboxing, I don't think. Plain cardboard box here, little sticker on the end telling you the model of the router. Smart Hub Plus text on one side, and then round the back there's a wee bit of bump telling you about the recycling that's went into the packaging. So yeah, not a lot at all to see, pretty plain. A lot of the stuff's coming in this type of packaging, to be honest. The Vodafone was kind of similar, very plain, all recycling gear. Inside we've got a little booklet here that's instructions, tell you how to set up the app and stuff, which is good. Tell you all about the status lights, tell you how to set up the router. The app's actually quite good. It's got quite a lot of functions, like being able to disable individual Wi-Fi, so beware kids, if you annoy me, your Wi-Fi's getting turned off while the rest of us enjoy it. So in here we've got the power plug, just your kind of standard power lead, and I'll see if I can unravel this cable to get a kind of idea of the length without measuring it. And it's a pretty long cable actually. They're usually about 1.5 meters, I think, but this feels longer. Yeah, I'd say this is maybe about 2.5 meters without measuring it, which is pretty good. Give you lots of options about the position of the router. You can have it a bit of a decent distance away from a power socket. Then in here we should have the WAN cable, which it is indeed. And again, I'll unravel this to get a kind of idea of how long it is. And again, without measuring, it looks a pretty decent length, maybe about 1.5 meters on that one. And your two connections, Ethernet connections, they're going to the WAN port, one in the modem in the wall and one in the back of the router. And then onto the router itself, and right away I can tell this isn't going to look as nice as the Vodafone one, but it's definitely heavier and bigger than the Sky one. Just all plain plastic. And you get the measurements for the height along the top and along the sides for you. I'll leave them down in the description at the bottom, and the width. Kind of wider down the bottom here. And there's actually an LED which is status lights. I think it's just a kind of aqua blue and it's all good. Down the bottom we've got a couple of rubber feet. Round the back we've got this settings card thing. I'm not actually going to show you because it gives you all the details of my Wi-Fi, the password and so on, so I'll put it right back in there. Connection for a phone if you ever decide to get a digital phone, 4 Ethernet ports, the WAN cable that hooks up to the modem in the wall, one USB cable, power connection, power switch, a little reset switch in the side there, and then on the side we've got a WPS button for syncing it with other things in your network. And that's it, not a lot to it, all perforated at the back for letting some heat out, and at the top, and that's about all there is to it. So this is out in the street, and you can see that the guys had ran the cable along the pavement here. This was last year, up to the green box just across the road from my house. And then from here, I believe the guys managed to run cable down existing like conduit passageways, whatever tunnels, under the ground, and they run right along the pavement, right across the front of my house and along the rest of the houses in the street, down to a manhole which is about halfway down the pavement there. And that's where it ended. They couldn't route anything to the houses from there. There is no individual conduits trunking or whatever to the properties. So the civils guys came out from Openreach. They managed to pick up the cable in the pavement, which was roughly around about this area, and then they lifted all the cobblestones and ran their new conduit across this way, across the pavement towards this little garden bit, if you want to call it that, little area where there's some bushes and some plants. They dug up some of the soil, ran a conduit along this inside of this curbstone here, up to the corner. They continued round, done the same thing. We've just stepped past here and dug a little channel in here, laid the conduit along this side of the curbstone, saved them lifting extra cobblestones, and then when they got to here, they lifted all these cobblestones here and basically fed the cable along there. Up to the little grey box in the wall, as you can see. And then from there they ran the cable up the wall. That bit could be a bit cleaner, a bit tidier. I would have done better myself, to be honest. But you can see the entry point into the house where they drilled through and they've sealed it up with some silicon sealant, I think that is. But aye, the Openreach guys done a good job. The civils guys lifting all these cobblestones and putting them back as they were, which is pretty good considering the cable is over there in the street. And then inside the house we've got the little modem that the guy attached to the wall. A couple of cables in there, one being the WAN cable and then the power cable, which just runs around the back of this unit and plugs into a power socket behind. And then it's just that one black WAN cable that plugs into the back of the router here. Obviously the router itself has also got a power cable, but just I'll just tip out to show you just the two cables, power cable and the WAN cable, and everything else is totally on the Wi-Fi. Simple as that. Right, hopefully you're still with me and I've not bored you to fucking tears, because I don't think I would sit and listen to this shit. But anyway, just so you know, I'm going to do a speed test on my phone. It's, what time is it? It's 6:20 at night and all my family are in, they're playing on their Xboxes or watching Netflix and stuff like that. But I'll show you a little speed test. I'm sitting in my bedroom just now, and the router is in the living room below me, and I'd say between my PC and the router it must be about 6 foot, that's how close it is. But there is obviously a floor between us. Just get this up. Let's press go and hopefully you can see this. It's going to pick the kind of best server to run on. And that's the download done. It's 741 megs a second on Wi-Fi 6 because I'm using a Samsung S23 Ultra, and you can see the upload's about 111, and that's so steady. You can sometimes mess about with the servers and you get different speeds. I mean, at the moment it's Wildcard Networks, which is down in Newcastle. If I change it to Access Studios Group, which is in Glasgow, see if it's any better. Go! I don't know if it's all will be any better. Creeping up a wee bit. I'm pretty sure the upload speed will be the same. Upload speed's a wee bit better actually. 745 and 113. So you can see that the results are a wee bit varying. It's supposed to be 900 odd meg or something you should get, but I think that's probably if you're hardwired. Actually, in saying that, I'm going to show you a little video just now of when I done it this morning when I had the house to myself. So watch that and see what you think. Right, so it's about 6:45 in the morning. I'm up working. Everybody's still in their bed still before they go to work and school and so on. And you can see I'm creeping up here, Newcastle upon Tyne server I'm on to, and I should be getting about 900 here. Yep, this is over a 900 mark. So 908 meg download, and then the upload speed, again we should be getting the 110 odd. So it just goes to show you there can be a difference in the time of the day when you try these tests. So aye, if you get into this, just make sure you give it a few tries across different times of the day. Aye, so you can see nobody was on the internet. That was me in my living room. And the router was, I've got an open plan living room, and the router was about, I don't know, maybe 20 odd foot away. And you can see the speed was quite decent there. And the last thing I'll do is I'll show you on the PC to see if it's any different. Speed test. Let all the stupid adverts come up. And again, it's picked the Newcastle upon Tyne one as a kind of default server. I'll see if my PC's any quicker than my phone. So it's obviously, it's a wee bit slower there, but it is slowly creeping up. And again, this is just Wi-Fi, no Ethernet cables or nothing like that. And 110 roughly upload. So 680 download. It's not as good as a phone. 110 upload, and I'll change the server again just to see if it makes any difference. But again, just to remind you, my house, wife, kids are all home playing games, watching stuff, so they're probably eating up a little bit of the broadband bandwidth. What will we pick? I could go over that Glasgow one again. This is the same one as I tested a minute ago on the phone, and see if it makes any difference. It's actually a wee bit slower. Right, bin that. Right, so you can see there's a bit of fluctuation just now in the speed I'm getting. I have seen it sitting over 900 meg, but I suppose again it all comes down to how busy the network is, how busy the network is in the house, and it might settle down. It's only been a few days that I've had it. What I can say is I've tried it in a few things. I tried downloading on the Xbox Series X, and I didn't know this by the way, but the speed was really slow. I couldn't figure out why it was so slow. Well, I would say really slow. It's 250 odd meg, and then when I googled it, I didn't realise that the Xbox Series X has a download kind of cap on it for Wi-Fi. If I hooked up the Ethernet cable, I think I'd get the full speed. My kids, my boys who both play PC, they downloaded a few games as well, like 60 odd gig games, and they pretty much got the game downloaded in like 10 minutes, which is exactly what I was wanting, rather than waiting hours and hours and hours. So, aye, that's that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover. Obviously, I'll give it a few weeks to properly test it. It's night and day between what I had. I was getting 67 meg a second with the old Sky, and I'm now on a good day, at a good time, I'm getting about 900 meg, which is basically what's advertised. Right, so thank you guys for sticking with me. Thanks for the questions and people following up, asking what was going on, and I had a few guys get in touch as well with their stories of issues that they've had with City Fibre and so on. And I'm disappointed, to be honest with you, that I was kind of looking forward to this whole new City Fibre thing, having always been stuck with Openreach, but they let me down. As I said earlier, I can't blame Vodafone. They can only, as the old saying is, piss for the dick that you've got, and unfortunately they're stuck with City Fibre. But yeah, I thought I would share it with you. I hope this helps you in case any of you are deciding to swap your broadband, and I hope none of you have the same sort of issues I'm having. Any other questions, I'm more than happy to answer them if you leave any comments down below, and as always, if you leave a like and subscribe, that would be much appreciated, and I shall see you guys again soon. See you later.